Can you kill a man when you have to? Yes, I can. If there's no ref, the ref doesn't stop it, I'm not stopping. Am I still willing to die? Absolutely, that's easy.
Reporters asked Khamzat if he would headline a special card rumored to be held on the White House lawn next year. He couldn't help laughing. Wiping sweat from his brow, he pointed at his own face, shook his head, and said, "Look at me. They won't let me fight there." He reminded everyone that he is simply a sportsman, not a political mascot. Visa stamps, embassy visits, and background checks have already eaten months of his career, keeping him away from the octagon. In his mind, missing one more government document would hurt worse than any uppercut. That is why he treats talk of fancy political shows like a bad joke. He imagines training for 12 brutal weeks only to be stopped by a forgotten piece of paper. To him, politics often cages athletes more tightly than any fence.
My prisoner of the moment, I feel like DDP Khamzat is one of the greatest middleweight competitions to ever happen in the UFC. You got Khamzat undefeated, boogeyman, DDP already a middleweight great in a prime of his career. I have no clue how this is going to fold out.
So instead of dreaming about shaking hands with presidents, he focuses on concrete goals, healthy sparring partners, fresh gloves, and a clear travel stamp, because a single missing form could erase an entire paycheck and rob his family of income. While other fighters picture fireworks over the White House, Khamzat just pictures the blaring airport alarm that would tell him he can't board the flight. Dricus Du Plessis saw Khamzat's doubt and fired back with a single stinging social media post. He screenshotted Khamzat's comment, slapped it onto his Instagram story, and typed, "Not sure what flag he identifies with these days." It was a short sentence, but it cut deep.
Is Khamzat going to be able to take me down? Absolutely. Absolutely he'll be able to take me down. This is how a fight works. I would hope so. Isn't he like some Swedish champion or something? I would hope he could take me down.
Khamzat's life has traveled from war-torn Chechnya to calm Sweden, and now to high-energy gyms in Dubai and the United States. Fans instantly picked sides. Some waved Russian, Chechen, or Swedish emojis. Others spammed wolf icons to honor Khamzat's nickname. Comment threads turned into wild tug-of-war matches about loyalty and national pride. For Dricus, that tiny poke worked like lighter fluid. Every big MMA account reposted it within hours, and YouTube channels pumped out reaction videos. The insult also shifted focus from fighting skills to personal identity, making the rivalry feel personal instead of professional.
I think you guys can expect me to get my hand raised, and that's about it.
And that'll be 8 wins in a row, and then you can sit back and watch the title fight play out between DDP and Khamzat Chimaev. Who do you think wins that fight, by the way?
I think DDP is going to surprise the world, man. He comes forward. He doesn't get tired. Khamzat gets tired with small guys that were 155ers, you know what I mean, that went up to 170.
Casual fans who barely knew the rules of grappling suddenly knew there was a flag feud brewing, and they wanted to watch it settle inside the cage. One sly story post transformed pre-fight trash talk into an international shouting match that still smolders every time either fighter logs online. When Dricus wasn't busy trolling, he opened up about the hardest men he has faced so far. He explained that Israel Adesanya was the most complete striker in the sport, calling Izzy's movement like ice under your feet. At any second, a jab or head kick could change the round. Dricus said the nerves he felt before that walkout were heavier than usual because Izzy had been the fighter he studied for years, treating him as the gold standard.
My toughest opponent to date, well, that's a very open-ended question because there were fights that were the hardest for me. I have to say probably Adesanya was the best guy I faced in his specific area. Probably the fight I was the most nervous for. Just in terms of how good he is, he can catch you with anything, anytime.
But if fans ask who showed the most raw toughness, the ability to keep moving through damage, Dricus points to Brad Tavares and Sean Strickland. Against those two, every clean shot felt like it should have ended the night, yet they just blinked and kept marching forward. He explained that fighting durable men is frightening in a different way. You hit them with your Sunday punch and watch nothing change in their eyes. Sharing that truth taught younger viewers an important lesson. Sometimes power hurts, but grit is what steals confidence from an opponent. By revisiting those battles, Dricus reminded the public that stepping in with Khamzat won't be his first trek through a hurricane, and that memory of slogging through past storms gives him quiet confidence. While everyone else was bickering about flags and belts, lightweight veteran Renato Moicano wrestled with a moral test.
I was very happy that the doctor stopped the fight because I don't get paid by rounds, I get paid by wins. So as soon as I finish, it's better for me. But I think it was the right decision. His eyes were pretty bad.
Should he accept up to $200,000 from an old UFC antitrust settlement or turn it down because he felt it was hush money? On a podcast, Moicano explained using the simplest example he could think of. He said taking the easy check felt like robbing a bank quick cash but dirty hand. Friends told him 200 grand could buy 2 Bitcoin, cover future fight camps, and pay for diapers for his newborn, yet he still refused. Some fans praised him as a throwback hero, others called him foolish. A well-known analyst argued the money was already set aside and would simply shift to other claimants, so Moicano's refusal wouldn't change the system. Critics said he threw a life jacket off a sinking boat. Supporters countered that if nobody rejects hush money, nothing will ever improve for younger fighters.
I'm here with the winner. Fucking Joe Rogan! What's up, Biggie Apple? This man's the guy! I watch your podcast every fucking day! Joe Rogan, training at day, Joe Rogan at night, bitches! And I'm fucking here to take over, all these motherfuckers. I'm here to take over. Make no mistake, I lost only to the best.
The heated debate revealed a hard truth. Prize fighting often forces people to choose between short-term security and long-term conviction, and that choice can follow them for the rest of their lives. Moicano's raw honesty also spilled into comedy, leading to a headline-grabbing roast of Brendan Schaub. Moicano admitted that performing a 1-hour show in English, his second language, feels like juggling on a tightrope. He must be funny, clear, and quick. He laughed at himself, then swung at Schaub, saying even with his broken English he could land better jokes. Fans clipped the rant into 15-second memes, and it spread faster than a viral dance. Some viewers cracked up, others cringed.
Things I saw him do to world-class competitors. He could do it at any given moment in any aspect, whether it was striking, grappling, wrestling. He had world-class guys from each genre. And it was like he was just playing with his food.
Either way, both Moicano's and Schaub's channels saw boosts in views, showing that fiery words can help everyone involved, even the target. The episode also unveiled how fighters straddle two worlds. Inside the cage, they are measured by punches. Behind a mic, they are judged by punchlines. Walking that line can be harder than cutting weight, and one mistimed joke can haunt a career. Yet Moicano's gamble paid off. He kept his fan base talking and reminded casual listeners that behind the cauliflower ears lives a brain sharp enough to spar verbally with seasoned entertainers. Fight analysts then switched focus to former champ Robert Whittaker. They slowed footage and noticed his best weapon isn't a heavy right hand, it's surprised. On film, his footwork sometimes looks messy, almost lazy, but that's bait. In reality, he hides quick level changes inside those loose steps, snapping into double leg takedowns before the opponent's brain sends a warning. One coach compared him to Khabib because once Rob clamps on a leg, he sticks like glue. Rob himself put those study sessions into plain speech. I'm gonna remind everyone I still end fights. He added new puzzles to his training, drilling zigzag takedown entries and crisp boxing combos. He also hired a sports psychologist to sharpen focus. His message is simple. Fighters may fade from headlines, but skill does not vanish overnight. Fans often forget yesterday's hero when a shinier story arrives, so Rob's vow serves both as fuel for his next camp and a flashing neon sign for anyone in the top 10 who thinks he's easy prey. At the same time, a versatile British middleweight eager to keep options open announced he will compete in both welterweight and middleweight until he sees the clearest road to gold. He pointed to the yearly London pay-per-view and said a clash with welterweight champ Leon Edwards would be perfect for the United Kingdom crowd. He imagined soccer chants echoing through the arena and national pride turning ticket sales into a stampede. If matchmakers instead promise a title eliminator at 185 pounds, he'll happily stay up a class. His flexible strategy shows how modern fighters treat weight classes like cities on a map. They weigh travel time, local fan bases, and pathways to the belt, much like chess players weigh squares before moving a piece. This business-minded approach means fans could see him headline twice as often, always chasing the biggest spotlight that leads to the promised land.